What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about XDC today. That would be in sign language XDC. What would it be? Right now, right now, right? Or is it like right now? I forget what right now is, but we're talking about it for Mr. Nick Farm. I believe it's Nick. Does it say Nick Farm? Yes, we are talking about it for you, my man. Looking at this thing right now. You know, I haven't made too many videos recently, but definitely having a nice little bounce right now, as is most of the markets. You could have found your low. You very well could have found your low. You know, I've been saying since this top here that you're probably going to go below 5 cents. And you did. You went just a little bit below 5 cents, and you found support right at an area where you found resistance before, where you found support before. I forget what my last video was about this thing, but I'm sure that I've mentioned this area as a potential area to bounce from. It would make sense. You could go lower. It is possible, but let's just see here from bottom to top. You're right above your 0.5. You might be finding, you know, if you can't get above this 382, if you don't close above it this week, that's okay. But next week or the coming weeks, like if you make more attempts up to this 382, but you can't quite close above it, that's not going to be a good look. Unless you're like slowly like creeping up toward it, then okay, that might be a good look. You know, something like that might be okay. But it would take time to kind of figure that out. You had a previous week that you closed here, found a little bit of a bounce, rejected your 236, came down here at a previous area of support or resistance and support, and now you're finding resistance at your 382. That's not generally a good look. That would normally leave the door open to going to your 618, which right now we're at about 5.15 cents, going down to about 3.6 cents to the 618. That's not totally crazy. Crypto and charts and stocks, they all love their golden retracement, right? And this, the way I have it drawn, that would be out in February. I don't think it would take that long. I think it would actually be a lot quicker than that. If it was to do something like that, you know, I would expect that overall you would hold this kind of trend line here. So at the 618, I mean, maybe you don't even hit the 618. Hey, that's good. You could go below the trend line and scare people. That's possible too. You know, maybe that's not how it's drawn properly either. You know, if I take the bodies into account, maybe. I mean, still, yeah. So maybe you don't go to your 618. That's kind of a bullish thing right there. The RSI bounced at an area that it's bounced before, that it's found resistance before. Let's actually take a look at the RSI right here. On the weekly, we're going to further dissect this thing in just a second, but you found support here where you found support before, resistance kind of in this area before, resistance there, support over here. That really could be it, man. That really could be the low. It's not like a conventional area on the fibs, but whatever, who cares? Let's get a more like relative fib. Maybe we'll see some respect there. Look at that. You bounced right off your 618 there, man. Bounced right off it. Literally, nice. Really nice. And then it's also, again, an area that you found resistance. Come on, man. Help me out here, TradingView. Let's go. Previous area of resistance. Like that looks really clean. So you might have found your low, XDC. You very well could have found your low. Maybe you don't go lower. Let's look at the daily. Let's get some stuff on the daily going. Constructive, that might have been your low, man. That very well might have been your low. Did not want to get into the oversold zone at all. Get into the overbought zone. If you can get into the overbought zone, I'll be convinced that that was your low. Because if you struggle getting into your oversold zone, but you have no problem getting into your overbought zone, that would be very bullish. And then here, with how much the day's down already, you're down about 3.5%. You had a nice move up. Oh, yeah, man. The one thing holding me back from just like being fully gung-ho on this thing is you had a move like this here, and you still gave it all back. This is nothing compared to that, right? So, I mean, even these days here, right? You had big days here. This is nothing compared to those. Volume is building a little bit. It is building. Maybe we could see it more on the 4 hour. It doesn't look like it, but yes, it is. It's building a little bit. 4 hour RSI also looks bullish. You didn't even touch your oversold zone, man. You got close to it and you didn't even touch it. That's nice to see. Not that common, but nice to see. Like this looks really good, you guys. The only thing that would look bad is if you like, and you've got a lot of leeway right now on the daily, but if this RSI got back below the 50, that would look bad. At that point, I would expect you do come all the way back down to your oversold zone, because as bullish as this looks, this would be very bearish if you did not get some continuation upwards. It'd be nice to see some overbought readings, which I don't think you'll have a problem doing, honestly. It would make sense. It would make sense if you continue to go up from here. So right now we've got 19 hours, almost 20 hours left in the day. Finding support here, like literally right here. By the time you watch this video, the price actually might be a little bit higher. But finding support right here. At a previous area, you found support, found a little bit of support near here, found support here. Let's just see, going back, kind of found support in this area. A little bit of support. Yeah, it's somewhat significant. You know, it's significant enough. It wouldn't be too crazy at all. Pair that with the fact that on like the more significant area, you definitely had a positive reaction with that. In the last 2 weeks, we have 4 days and 20 hours left. Okay, so a lot can happen in the next 4 days and 20 hours, but we have essentially 5 days left in this week. It hasn't even been 2 weeks since this bullish bounce, and you've already engulfed 1, 2, 3 weeks prior to this. You know, it's in less than 2 weeks time. So that's definitely a bullish reaction. And again, on the daily, compared to the volume here that you've been seeing, you are getting a little bit more volume coming in. So seeing the prices climb higher, seeing the volume add on, seeing the readings in the RSI getting stronger, all of that would be nice to see if you're looking to prove that you are done going lower. If not, again, there's that overall 618, which it made sense a little bit at first, this overall one, but measuring this more relative low to the top, that looks really clean. Looking at the price action itself, it looks really clean. And then if you drew a trend line here, to me, it would not make sense necessarily. You could break it, but it wouldn't make too much sense to break it by too much. And if you went to the 618 from here, you know, over the coming weeks, assuming you wouldn't just drop straight to it this week, right? That would be well below that line. So that wouldn't make too much sense to me, but who cares what I think, man? Anything can happen. It definitely could go lower. But at the moment, for all the XDC ravers out there, I'm calling you ravers because, you know, XDC, I don't know. And you guys do rave. It would make sense. It would make sense that it goes up from here. I think that it's go time for this thing again. Maybe not like go time like this, but probably buy the dip territory from here on out. Any time that you see a day like this where it's going down, probably a good time to buy. And I think that you're on your way up to new highs. Let's see, where are you going to go? You know, from this high here to this low, you went up to your 1272, found resistance there, very common maneuver. From this high here to this low, you went up to, wow, all the way up to the 2414, very deep extension, nice to see. So from top to bottom, I would say you're at least going to like 11.5 cents, 11.6 cents. That would make sense. Right there. Previous area of resistance, support, kind of would make sense. If you go up to your 1618 even, that would make sense too. And as you've seen before, you could go all the way up to your 2414. Maybe you're making strides to new all-time highs. Who knows? I don't know. Let's see, top to bottom. Which, by the way, this is a very nice bottom. Your weekly RSI is just very constructive, I gotta say. It looks strong. I definitely think, even if you went lower, I think that this thing's going to do great things. It's going to continue to go higher. But found resistance right in your sweet spot, man, on the first pass. Finding support on your 382. Beautiful. Just beautiful, man. I really, as I look at this more, I do think that was the low. Which, fortunately for most people, from low to where we are now, I know it's a 14.5% increase, but hey, man, that's really not too shabby. Buying off the lows right here. Like, not financial advice. I'm not buying this thing personally. I don't think it's available on any exchanges that I can trade it on. But it looks good, man. It does look really good. I not financial advice, but I would probably think about buying it here if it was something that was that I was interested in buying in. I can't speak today. Overall, on this overall fib structure from top to bottom, your next stop at least would probably be, assuming that you break through this high, which I think it's safe to assume, higher lows, higher highs. You just formed a higher low, you're probably going to form a higher high. You would at least top off somewhere in this 786 to 886 zone, which would be around 12 cents, maybe up to 15 cents. Let's see if we can make sense out of that. I keep saying that. Let's see. Right there. Your 1618, man, it lines up very well with that 886. It lines up very, very well with that. Your 1272 lines up very well with the 786. So yeah, I think 12 to 15 cents. That sounds about right. But there's always the potential you could go higher. There is always the potential you could go higher. Ultimately, I think this thing is working its way to new all-time highs. You probably will see it go above the 1272 here, or at least to it, and then to the 1618, and even beyond that, man. I think this thing has a lot of potential. Let's look at it on CoinGecko here. XDC network number 62 with a $713 million market cap. If this thing wanted to do a 10x from here, it's absolutely possible it can do that. And a 10x from here would take it to prices higher than what I was talking about, right? Like, I guess that's an 18x actually, but it could do that. It could even do a 100x. I don't think that's as likely, but a 100x is definitely in the cards for this thing. It's totally possible, and that would take you all the way up to $5.20, right? Yeah, 5 cents and 5.15 cents right now. It would make 5.20. You could see, man, with the fact that you've shown respect on that 2414 down here, you might go up to this 2414, and that would be a high market cap. That would put you like near a $100 billion market cap. It's probably a little bit closer to 70 billion actually. That's a possibility, man. This thing's been around for a while, hasn't it? Let me see. XDC USD on Bitfinex. Yeah, this thing's been so it wouldn't be new all-time highs, or would it be? I'm sorry. Let me just look. Yes. Okay. There we go. It would be. Yeah, it's been around since 2018. Like, it's been around long enough, and it's got some big shit going on with it, man. It being worth just under $100 billion, maybe even above $100 billion, is totally possible. So this thing going up to $5, even potentially above $5 by the end of this bull cycle. Again, this wouldn't happen overnight. It wouldn't even happen within the next half a year. But going up to prices that are 100x from here, it's definitely possible. It could even do double that. It could do a 200x. It really could if it wanted to. If it gains enough traction, if it sees utility or use case or whatever. Popularity is the main driving factor for this. XDC USD, you are only available on CoinEx, BitGet, Gate.io, BitTrue, Bybit, and the biggest exchange of all of them is KuCoin. Bittrex, who cares? You're a scam anyways. I don't know, man. Maybe they've cleaned up their shit. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, man. So you've still got Coinbase, Binance, Gemini, Kraken, Robinhood might even pick you up. If some of those bigger exchanges pick you up, that's going to be a huge driving factor for this thing. So sky's really the limit for this thing, man. I do think it's going to see new all-time highs. I think you're in the works of that, right? It's an overall bullish formation that you're in, higher lows, higher highs. I do think that's the low, man. I think it's going up higher. This is just an extended video saying that I think ultimately your next target is going to be somewhere between about 12 to 15 cents, honestly. And here you are sitting at 5.1 cents right now, so buckle up, XDC holders. Shit's about to get exciting over the next year or so. And then for the cycle in itself, I mean over the next year, like probably within a year, you're going to be over that all-time high. But over the next like 6 months or so, you're probably going to be 6 months, maybe 3 months even. You're going to be at that 12 to 15 cent range. It could happen by the end of the year, but just buckle up, guys. Things are going to be exciting for sure. Great things are expected for this coin. So if you like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more, and I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.